I am making Oyas today. Why? Because I love simple, easy, efficient, cheap DIY projects. That's why this is going to come to such use in my garden. I'll show you exactly where I'm going to put my Oyas in a second, but for now, let's go ahead and show you how I made it. Okay, you got to get some supplies. What you need is 2 unglazed terracotta pots. I got mine from Michael's. You know, they sell these at the big box stores, Walmart, Target. I got mine for $3.99. So 4 pots to make 2 Oyas. And I also purchased 2 saucers. These were $1 each. And then you want to get yourself a wine cork, or if you're like me and you like to reuse things, I got this. It's a tourniquet. What do you want, people? I work in an emergency department. We have these all over the place. We upcycle and reuse around here. Anyway, I just took this tourniquet and essentially rolled it to size like that. Okay, it's plastic and it will fit in this little hole here. But like I said, a wine cork or a plastic stopper, even candle wax will work well to plug this hole. We want this hole plugged because we don't want water to drain immediately out of these pots. Last but not least, you need some glue. I like the Gorilla Glue. This is the clear version. It'll hold these pots together. See? I put a little rubber band on the end to keep it from unraveling. And now I simply pop it in this little hole. Then I have my Gorilla Glue and I glue around the edge just to seal any gaps that may be in that space. There we go. Now we just take the other container. We just put a little sliver of glue around the lip of the pots. And now we take our other pot and we stack it. Making sure that these 2 pots are aligned lip to lip. And now we have to let it dry. So I will set this aside here so that can dry a bit. This is one that's already been made. You can see we have a hole there. Now, we don't want this hole to remain uncovered. That's what the saucers are for. We can either put the saucer like that to cover the hole, or we could turn it this way and create a little decorative design here, a little area for water to pool so your butterflies and bees and birds have some place to drink that's safe from drowning. Let's take you into the garden and show you where I want to put this thing. I've been having issues with dryness in this area. This whole bed, actually, this entire half of the bed coming towards me stays pretty dry despite the overhead sprinkler system we have over there. I have this tubing system currently that releases water from the water barrel that I have over there, but it's still not doing a good job of watering this area. So I needed a different solution, a new solution, other than hand watering or trying to put in new irrigation, because that's not happening. I'm just not going the drip irrigation route. This, I think, will work perfectly. I'm going to bury this Oya right here. First, I'm going to go ahead and remove the tubing that I have in place. That's the sprinkler head that I was telling you about. So it shoots all the way here and does a very good job of watering only half of the bed. I was hoping that this tubing would work a lot better, but it's just not saturating the area as much as I'd like it to. And I find myself tripping over this thing way too often. Therefore, rather than break my neck, I'm going to move it to an area where it's safer. This is how the water is emitted from this tubing. And don't get me wrong, this actually works okay, but it works by gravity. So you got to know how to use the gravity to your benefit. And already it's emitting better just by moving it. Then we pop it in the hole and we backfill. And now it's time for the little saucer. We just pop that on top like this. That lets me know where the Oya is. And it's in. This is what it looks like with the saucer off. So I can fill it with water when need be. And with the saucer on. All right, we are back at the table. And we are going to finish up this Oya. But now I'm going to put a little bead of glue around the edge, just to make sure that that is appropriately and effectively sealed. So it doesn't even have to be the neatest job, but it accomplishes the task. We're just going to allow that to dry for at least 24 hours, and then I'll be ready to dig another hole and put this Oya in the ground. So if you're like me and you don't like spending money on things that you can make yourself for very, very inexpensive, this is a great one. But I've got an even easier one for you. Another terracotta pot. Ah, it's a silicone wine stopper. Just pop this baby in. It fits nice and snug. Soak this in some water before putting it in your hole. Fill it with water and put the top on. Very, very simple. I'm going to put this in one of my grow bags. This 25-gallon grow bag gets very, very dry during the dry season. Putting this Oya in this bed will drastically reduce the number of times I have to water this bed during a hot, dry day. That's all for today, folks. I hope this video has been helpful. Have a blessed and beautiful day.